Alright, Shaper foil crafting for physical based crit spellcaster's guide. Let's go. So first things first, why would you want to craft a foil instead of something like a scepter or a dagger for your caster? The reason is that with a foil, it's much easier to get something that has two good Shaper mods plus a couple other stats. So to get like a nice mid to kind of high tier weapon, it ends up being much easier, much less expensive than those other weapon types. The only drawback is that you can't roll the physical gained as random, and you can't roll the elemental as chaos mods that you can get on something like a scepter. But overall, much easier, and you can still get very powerful weapons like the one you can see here. This is the one that I made for my Blade Vortex build, and it's been doing pretty well for me. So the crafting process itself, it has basically three main mechanics being used. The first one being just essence spamming until we hit the kind of baseline that we're looking for to work with, followed by using a couple level 8 master mods to kind of meta craft the sword itself, and with that, taking advantage of the fact that swords basically only have attack mods for prefixes compared to something like a scepter or a dagger where there's a lot of caster mods. Swords are basically entirely attack mods on the prefix. So once you've decided what you're gonna do, if you want to craft one of these, you've got two approaches. Depends on what stats you're looking for. The approaches are split between either using Essence of Woe crafting, which gives you a prefix mod with the spell damage, or you use Essence of Scorn or Essence of Misery, which will give you cast speed and spell crit, which are suffix mods. I'm gonna cover the Essence of Woe first. I've got a sword here that I bought to just kind of show as an example for this. So I'll kind of be spamming some stuff on it as I explain. But for the Essence of Woes, you're basically just looking to make a sword that has the Essence of Woe mod, so your spell damage, and then at least one good suffix mod. In my case, what I've been looking for is something like a high crit multi-roll, or a high attack speed roll, maybe Ellie Pen, maybe even like Onslaught on Kill. Mods like that, you want at least one good suffix alongside the guaranteed spell damage. And it usually doesn't take that long to do, so I'll start throwing a few in. That one has nothing for us. Try another one. Has nothing for us. Do maybe 10 of these. If I don't hit anything, I don't hit anything. We're just looking for that one mod to keep. That'll let us move on to the next step. Now that pen is almost good. It's kind of a low tier. I don't think I would keep it. It's not really doing a lot for us. So we'll keep going. That's the same tier of pen. There's a good one. That one is very strong. So this is almost exactly what you're looking for. But it's not done. This is the baseline kind of weapon. So this is where the actual kind of costs of the crafting come into play. So this one has two other prefixes, which is bad. We don't want any other prefixes other than the spell damage. We want just the spell damage as the only prefix, and we want at least one open suffix. It's got two open suffixes, but we're going to have to do some work. Maybe we get lucky, maybe we don't. But I'm just going to now annul it until either it kills one of the spell damage or attack speed mods, or we get it down to just the desired modifiers. And this one's probably going to die. So this is where the weapon gets killed. So first annul. That's a good one. All right. We got a 1 in 3 chance. Can we get lucky on it? No. Unfortunately, not lucky on this one. So this weapon's dead. However, if I had hit off that fire damage, then we could have moved on to the next step, which is, I've got a nice little infographic for it. We would move on to step 2, which you can see that weapon has 2 open prefixes, and it only has 1 open prefix, but it actually had one of the fizz rolls to begin with, so it basically counts, and it has the open suffix. But once you have that open suffix, the next step would be to either use level 8 Katarina if you have it, or find somebody with level 8 Katarina, and you're going to need to craft cannot roll attack mods onto the weapon. It's a suffix mod, that's why you need the open suffix. And then what that ends up doing is for shaper-based swords specifically, when you put can't roll attack mods, there is a grand total of 3 prefixes that don't count as attack mods that can be rolled. And that's gain fizz as fire damage, that's gain fizz as cold damage, which are the 2 mods you want, and then the last mod is just +1 to all gems. Fortunately, for the sake of this crafting, +1 all gems is a pretty rare mod, so you're much more likely to hit the other 2. Not necessarily likely to hit, high tiers of the other 2, but you have a really good chance of getting a double fizz gained from this point on. So you do that, you put the can't roll attack mods, and then you slam a couple exalts into the weapon until either you have both those mods, or if you hit the +1 gems, you might need to try to annul or start over. But yeah, then you end up with a pretty damn good weapon. You can see the last panel there, that's the one I'm using. That's how it ended up after the slam. And it's really strong. It's a lot cheaper than buying most weapons, even with the exalt prices getting kind of crazy. And you kind of just keep that weapon forever. You don't really ever need to replace that on any reasonable build. But yeah, that covers the woe side of things. That's the way I did mine. Like I said, there is a second option on how to do it, and that is with the essences of scorn and misery. May as well throw a couple in here, see what happens, but basically it's the same idea, same concept, but it actually is a little bit easier overall, because since these are suffixes, you're still looking for the same kind of hits on the essence. You're looking for the mod from the essence, and then one other good mod to go with it. But since these are suffixes, there is a chance, if you get really lucky and get something really nice, you can skip the annul process entirely by crafting suffixes can't be changed onto the weapon if it has an open prefix, and then just scouring the weapon. So then you turn it into a weapon with just the suffixes left, and then if it has one of them open, you can go to the next step, and you're guaranteeing that you wipe the prefixes and you don't hit one of the suffixes that you want to keep. So see if we can hit anything cool here. You know what? Let's throw in that has attack speed, so that's a good one that you could do it with. Not enough attack speed to really justify it, but this one, so it's got 2 prefix, 2 suffix. If I wanted to, I could put suffixes can't be changed. I scour it, then it would only have the attack speed and the spell crit. Then I would put can't roll attack mods, slam exalts into it 2 or 3 times, and I'm guaranteed to have both the shaper mods, and then you're good to go. But yeah, so that's the difference between those two. Both ways, you end up with really good weapons. I mean, the only difference in which essence to use is kind of what you want for your build. For something like Blade Vortex, I think, spell damage is obviously good, but if you played something like Ethereal Knives, maybe you want the cast speed, or if you played something like Explosive Trap, maybe you want the spell crit. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you. But I hope that's helpful. I think that covers everything. I think I've touched on all the bases. I guess it's a pretty easy process overall. And you can get some really nice weapons out of it. So, hope I was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, make sure to leave them down below. Any questions, whatever else. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.